Hello and welcome to yet another video on SDD presented by your mentor Vivek. Across 5 videos we installed Spec Kit, OpenSpec and Kiro and wrote an AGENTS.md. Every one of those demonstrations ran on a project we controlled. Your job probably is not that. Your job is a 5-year-old code base written by people who left, with tests that half work. That is called Brownfield, and it is where every spec-driven tutorial quietly stops. So this one is about starting there. Let's start with the failure, because nearly everyone makes the same one. You decide that before you can do spec-driven development properly, you must first document what the system currently does. So you start writing the big specification, and it dies, not because you were lazy, but because it exceeds review capacity. Nobody can meaningfully review a specification of 100,000 files. It gets approved without being read, which is worse than not existing. The rule is simple. Do not specify the system. Specify the change. And this is not just one vendor's opinion. OpenSpec, which we covered in part 3, is explicitly built for Brownfield, and models work exactly this way. Added, modified, removed. 2 independent places. Same conclusion. So, what goes in a change level spec? 4 fields. That is genuinely all. Current behavior. And take that from the tests or from production traffic, not from what somebody remembers. Target behavior, only the modification. Invariants, what must not change. And scope boundaries, what you are explicitly not touching. Invariants are the field everybody omits, and in Brownfield, they are the whole game. On a greenfield project, there is nothing to break yet. On a 5-year-old system, almost everything you can touch is something you can break. Writing down what must stay true is how you let an agent work without holding your breath. Here is one on WorkshopHub. Notice how boring it is. Current behavior, target behavior, the invariants, existing reservation IDs stay stable, the overlap rule still holds, and an explicit list of what we are not touching. Boring is the point. You can review that in 90 seconds, which means it will actually get reviewed. 4 more moves that make this work in practice. 1. Understanding comes before specification. Map the dependencies and find the undocumented contracts before you write anything, because you cannot write invariants for behavior you have not found yet. 2. Decompose the work against the architecture that already exists, including patterns you personally dislike. An agent introducing your preferred pattern into somebody else's code base creates maintenance burden that nobody agreed to. 3. Isolate execution. Give each task its own Git worktree, its own directory and branch, sharing repository data so parallel work does not collide. 4. Verify against both the change spec and the existing test suite. The spec proves you built the right thing. The old tests prove you did not break everything around it. In Brownfield, you need both every time. Finally, the ways this still goes wrong. Comprehensive upfront specs, which we covered. Assuming tribal knowledge is written down anywhere. It is not, it is in somebody's head, and you should go ask them. Letting the spec drift while the code moves. And running the full ceremony on a routine 2-line fix, which teaches your team to hate the process. One nuance worth keeping. If you're building a genuinely new large feature inside an old code base, the full pipeline from the earlier videos still earns its place. Match the ceremony to the size of the change, not to the age of the repository. So here is where the series actually lands. A greenfield spec describes what you are going to build. A brownfield spec describes what you are going to change and what must survive it. You do not need permission or a migration project to start. Take the next change you are going to make anyway. Write those 4 fields and let that be your first spec. Whatever you write down, keep it true. If you found this useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for patient listening and see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.